ready. This is going to be exciting.
And they got a restart zone to go. Green flag is out and underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Welcome to the High-Speed Cathedral of Wisconsin. We're live at Road America for round 12 of the championship. With only 4 races left on the calendar, the margin for error has vanished. In this multi-class showdown like this, the battle isn't just against the clock, it's against the chaos of traffic. From the blistering pace of the prototypes to the door-banging intensity of the GT3s, every overtake is a gamble that could make or break a title run. The season is winding down. The tension is ramping up, and 4 miles of asphalt are waiting to crown a hero. This is the Goat Locker Racing MK Fire Design Sports Car Series right now on V-Speed, your #1 source of online race coverage. I am Ken Huber, and alongside me, as usual, will be Jacob Lenke. Bobby Bender is providing production tonight. We got Dougie Beard on the cameras. Welcome back there, Jacob. Here we are in Cheeseland, getting ready to do Road America here.
Yep, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. I don't know a lot about this track, but a lot of good has been said about how technical it is. It's been used in NASCAR. A lot of multi-class racing is favored here with the tight turns and the long straightaways.
Yeah, you've got a lot of good racing out here. This track is very good for multi-class racing. It's got long straightaways, but some technical corners. It's a very grippy track on top of that, although we do have some heat out here this afternoon here at Elkhart Lake. It's running about 119-degree track temperature, so guys, we'll have to be paying attention to those tires and making sure that they don't get things too loose out there in the heat. But this race should be a lot of fun. 4 miles out here on the asphalt. And speaking of fun, well, we should talk about the point standings because we only have 4 races to go. Just give you those that are watching a quick rundown. On the prototype side, Reagan Carty's leading this thing, but he's not here tonight. But there's a close battle between the top 3. Jamie Lipke, Jason Christen, Bill Molefield are all competing to get in that second spot. And if Reagan Carty doesn't show up, that could be their chance to take a title here. But we'll have to wait and see. Reagan Carty's got quite a shot at this championship right now if he does come back with a 600-point lead. But with that said, we have concluded qualifying, and we are going to crown our Jam Printing and Promotion Pull Award winner. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed to printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And our Pull Award winner tonight is going to be Hector Collazo. No surprise there. He's got wins on the season out there on front. On his inside, or outside, I should say, is going to be Sammy Yosef, bringing that car in the second place spot. P2 or P3 is going to be Jacob Manning, and on his outside will be Brendan McDonald in P4. Jamie Lipke will start P5, and Bill Molefield will start P6. And Billy Sigmund will wrap out your 7-car prototype field.
And for the GT3s, Austin Cobb back to the point in the class, and he is not going to get off scot-free because he's got Matt O'Donoghue in the second slot. Patty Armstrong going to be rolling off in P3. Severi Kallio rolling off in P4. Timbo Parker puts it into P5. Jacob Ellingson, the hometown favorite, is going to be rolling on P6. Itamar Elimelech in P7, Joshua Jackson in P8, Seth Lee in 9th, Max Dragu in 10th. Timothy Williams going to be rolling off in P11, DJ Patterson in 12th, Alexander Sexauer puts it in 13th, John Houchin in 14th, Tyler White qualifies it in 15th position, and Noah Hogarth did not take a time, and he will be the last car in your 16-car GT3 field.
Yeah, you know, with this season there, Jacob, we've got a lot of new drivers that show up every week. So, you know, in a lot of other series, you race the same drivers week in and week out. But here, a lot of times here with a lot of new drivers in and out of this series, these guys really don't get a chance to adjust to each other's driving. So for a lot of drivers out here, it's going to be a new experience here racing with each other, and it sure makes it exciting for us. But we do have a short parade lap before we turn them loose, so it won't be long before we go racing. But I was covering the prototype standings. What does it look like back there in the GT3 field, Jacob?
Well, Austin Cobb still has about a 180-point lead over P2, which is Joshua Jackson. Jackson had a really good finish last week to help close that gap. But with the drop weeks, it's going to take every race through the rest of this season to give any shot to the 70 of pulling Cobb back.
Well, that's going to be an exciting battle there, though. Those guys are definitely after it. We've had some good racing, but speaking of getting after it, we're about to go green flag racing at Elkhart Lake as they come up the hill here, getting ready to take the green flag. The prototypes are about to be sent away. Hector Colazo is going to lead us to the green flag. Sammy Yosef there on his outside. Waiting, and we are green flag. The flag man is waving, and we are away. Hector Colazo gets a little bit of a gap over Sammy Yosef. He's going to lead him down to turn one.
Meanwhile, with the GT3s getting going, there's contact from the third and fourth place car. Patty Armstrong making bumper contact with Severi Kallio. Jake Ellingson missed a shift. Austin Cobb dropping down to P2 as Matt O'Donoghue takes over the lead.
Told you the GT3 field is exciting, and they all make it through turn one, but now they're headed down to the notorious turn 5, and this is a very hefty braking zone, all downhill. They're all getting single filed out, but you can see some cars too wide. Oh, we got a Porsche around in the back. And it looks like a Corvette that looks like maybe that was Alexander Sexauer and somebody else back there.
That was John Houch, and then the Porsche number 66. Alexander Sexauer going off. He ends up getting he rejoined on the track, but those two are going to have a lot of ground to make up. It looks like Kallio missed the corner there, and that's going to allow the 122 of Elimele to get through for that P4 position as everybody else is starting to stretch out ahead.
Yeah, they all get it single file, just like the prototype field just ahead of them. They've all got it single file now, trying to get a feel for these cars in the heat here, 119-degree track temperature. Prototypes are now going through the carousel, but we've got a heck of a battle here in this field just behind him. Austin Cobb in that Corvette, trying to regain that front position from Matt O'Donoghue, who's taking it.
Yep, the top three starting to break away a little bit from the rest of the GT3 pack. Matt O'Donoghue in first, Austin Cobb, your pole sitter, in second, with Patty Armstrong rounding out that top three. Everybody else behind still jockeying for position. Elimele, the only breakaway from that back pack.
Speaking of breakaways, well, we're going to go back.
Oh, contact!
Going to look at this start here going into turn 5 here with prototypes here. They all make it through clean, but it was a little bit risky there for Hector there. But he makes it. Oh, there we go. There's the spin there on the opening lap. Sammy Yosef goes around into the sand trap. No contact. Gets that car recovered. He isn't going to have to drive back through the GT3 field to get back up there.
Big development in the GT3s. O'Donoghue goes wide through the grass. Austin Cobb takes the lead, and we got a three-way battle for the P2 position with Armstrong. Elimele got through, and O'Donoghue's trying to fight back for that position. Now Kallio's putting his name in the mix as we get back down to turn 1.
You got 4 Mercedes out there just giving each other the business here as they go through turn 1, headed downhill to turn 2 here. And you can see Austin Cobb in that black and blue Corvette just ahead of him, and those 4 Mercedes trying to chase him down, all battling hard with each other as they head down towards turn 5.
Right now, as you can see on your screen, it looks like Austin Cobb against the world. Those Mercedes have been fast throughout practice and qualifying, and Austin Cobb has just been that much faster. Can he keep it in front for the entirety of the 60 minutes?
Yeah, and I believe Austin Cobb missed last week's race, so it's good to see him back here. Managed to hang on to that points lead. They do have 2 drop weeks here in the Sports Car Series, so That's what's allowed him to maintain that points lead, but he probably can't miss too many more races, and he does need good finishes here. So he's going to have to keep that Corvette in front of all those Mercedes as all 4 of those Mercedes have started to spread out, except for the front 2 there. You see Patty and Itmar duking it out there for the 2nd and 3rd position.
You can see a lot of gravel already being kicked up off the track from the off tracks that we saw from earlier. Cobb already now stepping it out. He's got a 2nd over Patty Armstrong. Elimelech in 3rd is going to try and track down the 2nd place car. It looks like all 4 of those cars running for the same team, as it looks like we got another battle with the GTPs.
Yeah, going back to the GTP, you got Sammy Yosef now working on the back of Jamie Lipke as they come up the hill across the start-finish line here. Remember, Sammy Yosef spun out there on the opening lap. We went back and covered that during the replay. He's trying to make up that ground. Sammy Yosef has been super fast, getting faster every week, but that mistake on cold tires really cost him as he's trying to find a way around Jamie Lipke. And Jamie Lipke is 2nd in points, so she doesn't want to give up any positions either. So she wants to hunt down. If Reagan Carty fails to make the show here in the next few weeks, she has a chance here. So she wants to hang on and get as many positions as she can as they run these cars downhill into turn 5.
And how many times this season have we said those exact words? Samuel Yosef trying to catch up to Jamie Lipke. I think we had it like 4 times in one race because Yosef kept either running wide or spinning out, as we see a mistake from Lipke that allows Yosef to overtake for the top 5.
Yeah, and that incident you're speaking of with Sammy Yosef, that was at Brazil, and yeah, he was having all kinds of problems out there in Brazil. Interlagos, spun that car around several times, had to drive it back up, spun it, drive it back up, so he was up and down all night long, but hopefully he only does that once tonight. As we look back at the GT3 field, I see Jacob Ellingson there in that Mustang with the Porsche just ahead of him there. That is Timbo Parker. Timbo Parker in that orange and white Porsche just ahead of him there. And just behind Jacob Ellingson in the Mustang is Joshua Jackson. Joshua Jackson sitting 2nd in points. We know Joshua Jackson, and we talked about it pre-race, doesn't normally qualify that well, but is really good at finishing solid each and every week.
Well, I think I more said that in respect to the competitors that we've been getting in the series, like the newcomers every week. He does a great job with keeping it clean and putting consistent lap times down. It's just like people keep coming in here that are running a half second, 3/4 of a second faster than everybody, so he keeps getting pushed down the order. Joshua Jackson is sitting 2nd in points, and that is no small feat based on his skill level from the rest of this season as we're watching Ellingson try on Parker.
Yeah, it took a little peek there as they head down through the backstretch. This is 11A and 11B. They're headed down towards Canada Corner. Everybody making it through here cleanly as we're currently watching Jacob Ellingson look for a position there on Timbo Parker there. Head down through Canada Corner here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're on the front stretch. The last corner there, turn 14, and headed uphill. Trying to get a little bit of toe there on that car just ahead of him. Jacob Ellingson trying to get that Mustang power to work for him, but so far can't quite get to the back of that Porsche of Timbo Parker and make a braking advantage into turn 1.
Ellingson keeping it solidly in the top 10 as we have a little bit of a developing story with the 27. I mentioned he was the hometown favorite. He's about an hour away from the track, and he complained that it's always flooded when it comes to this time of year, because there's always a lot of washout and the rain coming from the thaw and everything with that. But there's another hazard he's dealing with tonight, and he mentioned that if he pulls off track suddenly without explanation, there's some severe tornado watches in his area, so he is going to be, he let us know beforehand just in case we do see him drop out of the server, and we wish all the best for him and his family and their safety.
Well, he's in a little bit of a tornado right now, being in between those two drivers of Timbo Parker and Joshua Jackson right now. He's got one eye on the mirror and one eye on the windshield. We're going back up front looking at this Mercedes challenge there of Patty Armstrong. Inamar Mileh. I'm going to butcher that name all night long probably, but these two drivers definitely nose to tail, and just behind him there, Matt O'Donoghue as well. So you see those 3 Mercedes. Somebody's fallen back just a little bit. Severi Kallio has slipped back just a little bit from these top 3 Mercedes.
Yep, and you can tell these 3 mean business, the 121, 122, 123, all running the Angler paint. 3 teammates that have likely practiced for this race with each other, trying to put down some solid times, catch up to our current points leader, Austin Cobb, and he has given them the business.
Well, right now, Ellingson is putting some pressure on. Timbo Parker tries to go around on the outside, does it as they head into the final corner, turn 14 here. Timbo Parker right on the back of that Mustang, able to hold it off. Jacob clears Timbo Parker, and now Timbo Parker slips back a position, but is able to hold off Joshua Jackson for the moment.
It looked like there might have been some bumper contact with the 789 and the 27 there, but they end up getting it squared away. Meanwhile, Timbo Parker looking back to the inside at turn 1, backs out of it wisely, but that might have allowed Joshua Jackson to get a good run through this section here. Everybody lined back up. Ellingson's still out front, but in front of the two Porsches.
Yeah, turn 4 is very easy to miss your mark. You got to be very careful there, and he did a good job of gathering that thing back up and getting it organized, and then maybe he can get a little bit of drafting help here as they come down into turn 5 and maybe outbreak Jacob Ellingson here. Jacob Ellingson doing a little bit of defensive driver there, covered it off, and that's going to allow Timbo Parker to have to sit back there in line. Almost gets into the back of Jacob once again, but these three drivers are definitely going after it.
Yep, and despite everything else showing up, this is the closest battle on track right now between the three cars that we're showing right now. Jacob Ellingson still holding on to that 6th position that he got from Timbo Parker, and Joshua Jackson is trying to make it another spot lost for the 789 as he is very much closing in as we get through to the back half of this technical section.
Yeah, Timbo Parker doing a great job out there. Having a solid run. I mean, you can't blame him. Currently running in 7th, but he's lost one position on the night. But he's been a solid driver. Another one of those drivers. It seems like Jacob to me has improved all season long. But right now he finds himself with Joshua Jackson hunting all over the back of him as they head down towards Canada Corner here. We'll see if Joshua tries to outbreak him here, and he doesn't. So he'll slip back in as they go through the final couple of corners here, headed back towards the front straightaway.
Those two still bumper to bumper, trying to look for a move on Parker is Josh Jackson. That 70 has been fast all season long. He's put himself into great positions by just running clean races and not making too many mistakes. We saw him get that fuel mileage victory in the first week of the season, but he's looking and he's hungry for another win on the season, and I think he might get it before long.
Well, I think you're right, but while the racing's settling down just a little bit, this is about the best battle on track. Haven't really talked about the prototypes too much. Hector, per normal, is leading the prototype field. He's got quite a gap over his competitors, 10.5 seconds currently over Brandon McDonald. Brandon McDonald's moved himself up 2 positions. He finds himself running in 2nd right now, doing a great job out there for Brandon. Jacob Manning, another one of those newcomers I talked about early in the race, starting to put some pressure there on Brandon McDonald. Just a little over 0.3 of a second behind him, though, but is sniffing a little bit of aero on the back of that car. 2 different machines out there trying to get it done. So Brandon McDonald out there in the Cadillac, and Jacob Manning in the Acura. So maybe that Acura has found some legs and is starting to run that Cadillac down of Brendan McDonald. Sammy Yosef, go ahead. I was running through the field. I was just going to talk about Sammy Yosef has gotten by Bill Molefield, currently running in 4th. You remember Sammy Yosef spun earlier, and now he's back up to the 4th position trying to catch back up. I'm sorry, Jacob. Go ahead.
All good. Yosef is trying to catch Jacob Manning, who's less than a second behind Brendan McDonald. And it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a newcomer, get into this series and just start pulling away and pulling off great runs and showing some excellent speed. We saw it with Hector. We saw it with Reagan earlier on in the season. McDonald has been in since the beginning, and he has just been almost. I would almost say he's been on the back foot for a lot of these, and you kind of got to feel bad for him because just when you think he is getting into a rhythm and finding his speed, someone else joins the series and is just blows by everybody, and that has put Brendan McDonald on the back foot. He's got to win on the season, but outside of that, he has a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, he's also made some mistakes this season. A very fast driver, and it's really surprising to see him 5th place in points because, for Brendan McDonald, he is a fast driver, and sure, there's some guys that have come out here and really put out some blistering pace. But, you know, technically speaking, you know, if he didn't have the mistakes on the season, Brendan McDonald should be like battling Sammy Yosef for that second place position in the points. As they're starting to lap the GT3 field here, you got Sexhauer just ahead of them. So Brendan McDonald trying to make his way. He's going to have to slow up here. Sexhauer is not an easy car to get around. That's going to allow Manning to get right to the back wing of that machine as they head down into 4 here. Manning taking another peek there, but can't get it done now. So they're going to head down towards turn 5 and see if he can make anything of it.
Yep, they got around the 66 of Houchin clean, but getting down into turn 1, getting up to the 333 of Sexhauer, Manning almost made some contact with McDonald as they were in that braking zone, and he's side by side with him right now.
Yeah, Manning outbraked him into turn 5 here. Now he's side by side. Brandon McDonald's going to have a little bit of advantage on the next corner here. We'll see if Brandon can hold on to it. Going to push out just a little bit. Now Manning's got the advantage. They're still side by side. Headed down into this next corner. It's very easy to get the car loose when you're on the inside. You got to be very careful. Manning does it. Now they're going to go side by side into the carousel. Neither one of these guys give it an inch as I'm losing my voice right now. But Brandon McDonald will hold on to this in the carousel. And now they're headed down towards the kink. So Brandon McDonald is going to have to rack and restack and do this once again.
And he might have an opportunity as they get through this high-speed section. Tyler White getting passed by both of these cars. Manning still hard charging, trying to get back to the back bumper of McDonald. Getting to the slow speed corner, taking as much of that runoff as they can. And Manning settles in behind, back to square one, trying to get that second place from McDonald.
That was some great racing from these prototype drivers. Just doing an awesome job there. They were side by side for a half a lap. And I'm sure Manning's going to be back right now. And now Brendan McDonald knows what he has to do to defend that. But also that gives Jacob Manning some insight to how Brendan McDonald's going to react. And that goes back to what I was talking about at the start of the race. These drivers not knowing each other. We've seen Brendan McDonald out here each and every race. But Manning, one of those newcomers. So Brendan is now having to learn how he races. And I think they're starting to figure each other out.
Yep, and every time these cars hit lap traffic, as we see them trying to get past Noah Hogard here, who pulls to the side just to let them through, Hector just continues to check out. 12 seconds and counting over second place Brendan McDonald as they get in more traffic.
Yeah, and that's allowed Manning back to the inside. Definitely got more of an advantage this time. A lot of traffic there. Oh, Brendan McDonald goes off the track in the same spot Yosef does. Doesn't hit anything, but he is going to give up second position now. That's going to move him back to third, and he's going to fall into the clutches of Sammy Yosef at this point. You can see Sammy Yosef coming up just behind him in that white prototype. That Sammy Yosef had that spin in that very same section. Now Brandon McDonald finds himself going to be trying to hang on to that third position from Sammy Yosef.
Meanwhile, in the GT3s, the battle for second, or the battle for third, has started to heat up as well, as Patty Armstrong, Itamar Elimelech, and Matt O'Donohue have all come within a half second of each other. Once again, Armstrong still out front of this group with Elimelech, trying to get to his back bumper down the front stretch, right on his bumper, giving him a push past the start-finish line. And I wonder if we might see a dive to the inside here, or if he's going to think better of it and get a better shot through the braking zone. O'Donohue's still tailing these two.
Yeah, and you see the leader of the prototypes, Hector Collazo, coming by these three. So, you know, what's interesting to me, Jacob, is I actually believe they're trying to work together and trying to get some aerodynamic advantage, because that Corvette of Austin Cobb has just been pulling away each and every corner. Now 4.1 seconds ahead of those three drivers. And these three drivers probably know that they have to work together to beat that Corvette, because it looks like to me that Austin Cobb came here to play today, and he's doing a great job out there so far.
And you know what it says to me? I think we're thinking strategy. Depending on who's got the better grip when we get to the end of this first run, we can see somebody take it in one lap and then see another one take it another lap and then see another one take it another lap, see what works, just in case they may have to make another stop later on.
Yeah, and that would be, you know, something I'm sure they're all talking to each other, and they're probably talking about that. Hey, do you think I'd be faster? Hey, I'm faster in 3 and 4. Maybe if I'm out there leading, we can gain some time, things like that. But it looks to me like they might have this figured out how they want to run with Patty leading this group of Mercedes there. And it looks like Itmar just behind him there is kind of struggling keeping it on the track right now, swinging out wide. And that could be just a little bit of aero loss there from the car in front of him there. Just trying to keep that car on track, just trying to figure out. Now we got to battle for that third position as Matt O'Donoghue is going to take it there from Itmar and move Matt O'Donoghue up a position. And that's why I was saying it looked like Itmar was struggling a little bit back there, and that allowed O'Donoghue to get by.
It maybe burned it up a little bit, needs to get it recomposed in that 122. And speaking of, the number 22 has a very high significance, especially with one of our sponsors, Kim.
Well, I can't wait to hear that, what that is.
Save 22 is a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Our unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate. Save 22.
If any of you struggle, or any of you first responders, veterans out there struggling, make sure you reach out. There's a lot of benefits out there for you. Reach out. Don't go it alone. Save 22 is a great organization to help our veteran community out, and just make sure you check them out. Don't go it alone. Back to the racetrack here, looking at these 3 drivers now. It looks like O'Donoghue's starting to reel back in his teammate there, Patty Armstrong there. Trying to figure out what they can do with Austin Cobb, who's now 5.5 seconds ahead of this group. So Austin Cobb doing a great job. You got Jacob Manning there just behind second place in the prototype field. He's trying to make his way by these GT3 machines. Speaking of which, something we haven't talked about tonight there, Jacob, is some of the strategy with fuel. Now, this is one of these high fuel usage tracks. So my sense is we are 20 minutes into this thing, that the prototypes are definitely going to be a 2-stop race. I think the GT3s are going to be 50-50 on whether they can make it. We know drivers like Joshua Jackson is probably thinking about that. We've seen Joshua Jackson win a race on fuel strategy at Suzuka, I believe it was, due to that very situation where the GT3s were having to make 2 stops, and he was able to do it on a single stop. So this is going to be a big question here. Oh, we just watched. I just watched one of the teammates there, Itmar, go back in the sand, driving it really hard, but he got that thing recovered. As we look at Joshua Jackson there, trying to make his way up there, still running behind Timbo Parker. But like I said, Jacob, I'm going to be really curious, what the fuel strategy is going to be for some of these GT3 drivers.
And an unfortunate turn of events as I was watching that battle with the 3 cars in the GT3s as I caught something out of the corner of my eye as we got a GT3 sideways on track right now.
That's not a good place to be parked.
That is an. That's going to be close. That's a McLaren. I think that's DJ Patterson in a 236. Everybody able to get around him so far, but he needs to get his way off track. I was going to make mention of a car that had made his way into the runoff area, but we're going to take a look and see what happened with DJ Patterson in that McLaren. It looks like he might have just looped it on exit here. Pushed it a little too wide, nails the nose in, and that stops him on track. But another car that is still stopped on track in the runoff as we watch DJ Patterson pull it into the pits. Brennan McDonald has been stopped there for the past 2 laps, and I think he has just called it a day. I don't know if it was a mechanical failure or if he just lost it through the gravel and can't get it back out, but that looks like day done for the 92 machine once again.
Yeah, he finally tows it to pit lane there, as you've seen it there. I was kind of concerned that he might have had an emergency there because drivers usually just don't leave their cars on the racetrack. They'll tow them away if they're going to leave the session. But, that's what I was talking about, Jacob. Brendan McDonald, a super fast driver, maybe not the fastest, but one of those drivers that can get up there and compete, does have 1 win on the season. But that consistency is just eating him alive this season. And he's going to have to put something together to do. Oh, I just watched Itmar get sideways again. Itmar is really struggling in that 122 in that Mercedes. Just constant off track after off track, just trying to keep up with his teammates there. I think he's just struggling with the handling on that Mercedes at this point.
I think that may have indicated that he has burned his stuff up, as it were. As the other two, Patty Armstrong and Matt O'Donohue, still keeping within each other's tire tracks, but 4.4 seconds behind that leader of Austin Cobb as well. And Itamar's going to have to make a strategy call on the pit stop that is going to be upcoming. Otherwise, he is just going to find himself even further back from these two.
Yeah, you can see him just eating up the track limits there, just trying to stay up with his teammates there, just really pushing that Mercedes super hard. And we're coming up to the point right now, I'm looking at Hector in the prototype field, the leader of the prototype class, and I'm curious, you know, if he's going to be headed to pit lane anytime soon. And this is, like I said, a very high demanding track for fuel. And we're getting to that point right now with 25 minutes into this thing, whether he can go 1 or 2 more laps. And I'm really curious to see how far he can push it, because if he can do 1 more lap at least, I feel like at least the GT3s are set to a one-stop race, and the prototypes I still think are going to be 2. We'll see if he goes by pit lane this time. It looks like he's going to, doesn't hold it down low. So he's running about 2-minute lap times, just under 2-minute lap times. So it still could be close within the next 2 laps, whether he comes in or not. But that's what has my curiosity up.
Yep, and it needs to be at the forefront of his mind as we're getting toward that halfway point, on whether or not he's able to save enough. And I think he's got enough of a gap right now that he can start backing off a little bit if he wants to make that gamble. He's already got a couple wins on the season. I don't think he's going to be able to make it on points for the championship, but he is proving a point in that he is currently the fastest car in this series the past few weeks in this season.
Yeah, it's unfortunate Reagan Carty isn't here tonight to give him the challenge. Him and Reagan Carty were going at it, and it seemed like, that's when we've seen a lot of mistakes there from Reagan when Hector showed up. Really, these two guys really pushing each other. So, but right now, Hector not really feeling any competition. Sammy Yosef, we know, is a teammate of Reagan Carty, and Sammy Yosef had a very fast machine up there.
Contact further up in the GT3s just now. Navigating through lap traffic, making contact with Alexander Sexauer. It looks like Patty Armstrong might have lost his front end.
Oh, he was running second, too. Looks like we're going to go back and take a look at this. You can see Sexauer in that green Corvette just ahead of these 3 drivers.
Down the front stretch, you can see Armstrong just, tries to get it positioned to where he can get to the outside of Sexauer and just nails the front end on the back bumper of the 333, and that has put a huge hole in the lead that they were trying to catch up to Austin Cobb as they're still navigating through these guys.
Yeah, and if he doesn't have any straightaway speed, he might want to take advantage and let his teammates by, and let Itmar by, or let me just, God, I can't even get my timing and scoring right now, but looks like Patty Armstrong there. Okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. So Patty Armstrong up there with the damage. O'Donohue back there just behind Sexauer right now. Kind of split this thing up. But what I was getting ready to say is, O'Donohue could go up there and take the lead and then kind of use that toe. But right now, Itmar's going by his teammate of O'Donohue now. As they go into Canada Corner, Itmar takes it, goes on the inside of Sexauer. They get together. Another incident there for Sexauer, and look at Itmar. He is putting the pressure back on his, gets by O'Donohue, and now he's going to set his sights on Patty Armstrong.
It hurts to see that all 3 of these cars have the same paint, because that was O'Donohue that made door contact with Sexauer, and yep, Patty Armstrong is going to take it into the pits, likely to get that front end changed and get all the fuel packed in it that he can, but that has also given Alexander Sexauer a black flag for incident points. Matt O'Donohue leading Itamar Elimelech through into the top 3 right now, trying to chase down Austin Cobb, who's out to 7.5 seconds.
Yeah, Austin Cobb is really enjoying seeing all the action behind him with these 3 drivers, but catching Sexauer at the wrong time. Sexauer, I mentioned that earlier there, Jacob. Sexauer is difficult to get around no matter what car you're in. If you're in a prototype or whatever, Sexauer has been out there and always, he's holding his line, but sometimes it can be a little bit unpredictable for some of these drivers.
And another report, Max Dragu has a black flag. It looks like he was entering the pits too fast. He was running solidly in the top 10. He is going to take his stop.
And speaking of stops, Hector Collazo is on pit lane right now, so couldn't make it to the halfway point. So it's definitely going to be a two-star, or I'm assuming it's going to be a two-stop situation for these prototypes. Hector making his way to his pit box, get tires and fuel in that prototype machine. You see Brendan McDonald parked there on the side after pulling that car into pit lane after his incident on track. But Hector Collazo going to get his car fueled up and get back out there. But definitely looks like going to be a two-stop for these guys.
Manning also pulled it in. A few other cars taking the opportunity to put it into the pit lane to get their service done. Patty Armstrong back out on track after taking his pit stop, and he was trying to navigate around the Acura of Noah Hogard just then. He's fighting pretty hard with Timothy Williams still on those old tires to try and get back up through the field, as a lot of these cars still have to make their stops. The only cars that have taken it so far are Armstrong, Tyler White, Max Dragu, and DJ Patterson, who we saw earlier in that wall contact. And I think Jacob Ellingson may have gotten the word for the take shelter, as he has now left the session. We wish him all the best.
Yeah, good luck out there, Jacob. All the best to you. Back up here, I'm looking at Austin Cobb. Still hasn't made his pit stop yet. But one of the things I was going to talk about there with that driver making that pit stop from that damage, he's in the situation now where you hope when you come off the pit lane that you don't run into a bunch of traffic, so you can enter back with your teammates again, or at least get ahead of them. But that's one of the disadvantages to coming to pit lane. But he had to get that damage repaired, and finds himself back there in that traffic, trying to make his way through. And I'm speaking of that 121 of Patty Armstrong, who does have that traffic now cleared and going to try to make up some time waiting for his teammates to pit.
Yep, Joshua Jackson and Timothy Wilms now down in pit lane. Jackson having finished his service and is going to come out, it looks like, in the 7th position. That leaves the top 5 and John Houchin as the only cars that have not come down pit road in the GT3s. All of the GTPs have taken some form of service to this point, but we're gonna see how this one plays out as we watch our leader Austin Cobb in the GT3s just continuing to put more time on that lead, 9 seconds over O'Donoghue and Itamar Elimele as of right now.
Yeah, he's definitely curb stomping those guys right now. Really putting on a dominant performance in that Corvette. Looking at Jamie Lipke here in the prototype. But yeah, Austin Cobb really showing some true speed. He goes by pit lane once again. So I was kind of expecting Austin Cobb on pit lane this time, but looks like these GT3s can go the distance most definitely.
Meanwhile, another one has taken the opportunity down the pit lane. As we saw, we got split strategies, probably not by choice for Patty Armstrong, but Matt O'Donoghue has taken it down into the pit lane and is going to get his service done. That leaves only 5 cars left to take it down the pit lane.
Yeah, and I'm going to be really interested how these guys all shake out, those 3 teammates, because they all were pretty much together when that pit cycle started. And we'll see how that all shakes out. We know that that Patty Armstrong had to get that damage fixed, but that shouldn't have slowed him down any for the pit stop. As we're still watching Jamie Lipke currently running in that 5th position, trying to hang on to a top 5, solidly in the top 5, I should say, because everybody behind her is out of this race. So she's actually guaranteed a top 5 at this moment. So right now trying to hunt down Bill Molefield, which is looks like about 4.5 seconds just ahead of her.
Yep, wished it would have been more on merit, but points are definitely points when it comes to catching up to Reagan Carty, and Lipke is not going to say no to a solid finish like that. Taking a look at Tyler White right here in the 63. He's currently in the top 10 for the GT3s, and he took his service earlier, and he's just been full throttle back on the track as well. He's trying to get his at least one of his laps back from The it's either he's trying to get his lap back or he has just been lapped by Austin Cobb, but you can see that Corvette in the foreground there. And Tyler White has been away for a little bit. And it's very good to see him back on track and getting laps in.
Yeah, absolutely. While we're watching that, just ahead of him, Austin Cobb in that Corvette is finally going to bring it to pit lane, get that machine service. Ben really dominated there, got almost a 12-second lead over Itmar MLM. I'm going to mess up that name so many times tonight, Jacob. It's not even funny, but that number 122, we'll make it easy that way. But Itmar is on pit lane as well, so going to get that machine service. So the question is those three teammates, how are they going to come out after this pit cycle is complete?
Callio takes it down as well, and that will be everybody opting to take service at the midway point of this race. We got a little under 26 minutes remaining on the clock. So do you want to talk about any of our other sponsors, sir?
Well, I was going to speak about GTR simulators, and a lot of these guys that are out here racing are running this GTR simulator. It's also one of the simulators that we give away to our warriors here at Goat Locker Racing. But GTR Simulator is a leader in professional grade racing and flight simulators that deliver immersive real world experiences trusted by racers, pilots, educators, entertainment venues worldwide. From home setups to commercial and training solutions, GTR Simulator puts you in the driver's seat. There's a special discount code for Goat Locker Racing in the shop tab at goatlockerracing.org. So make sure you check that out, goatlockerracing.org, and you can get a discount there, and you can get your very own simulator out here. A lot of what these guys are using to get around the track. And I got to tell you, having a nice simulator out there and something that really locks your sim rig down really helps your lap times out there. So we're watching this battle between these two teammates. So I guess we're seeing how that shook out there, Jacob.
Yep, that's O'Donoghue, who had to check up, honestly, as Elimelech ended up pulling it out of the pits. O'Donoghue's been on track for at least a lap. Armstrong out there for 3, having had to stop for that damage. And Elimelech has to drop out behind O'Donoghue here and is going to run behind him now. I think it might have been a little bit wide on that exit, as he's just now lined it back up in P4 as O'Donoghue is going to try and track down Armstrong. And as the pit cycle finishes out, Austin Cobb still has an 11-second lead over P2.
Yeah, an impressive run for Austin Cobb. And, you know, if you remember there from Itmar early in that run, he was really driving all over the place, and now he finds himself in that second position, or excuse me, he's in that fourth position. Man, these cars with all the same liveries there out there are definitely messing with my mind tonight. But I was going to say, I thought he was up there in the second position, but no, he is not. That's Patty Armstrong up there. Patty Armstrong's got about 20 car lengths over his teammates there as he's trying to catch back up to Austin. But unless Austin makes a mistake, I don't see any way Patty's going to be able to run that Corvette down.
Well, that's what we've been preaching with a lot of our drivers, is that they don't have a tendency to make mistakes. And, well, in all honesty, that has preceded an unfortunate mistake on their part. So time will tell. We got 23 minutes left. You can only imagine what's going to happen with the result of this race. Austin Cobb has run perfect races, but he's also had some issues later on in some of these runs as well, as we're watching Patty Armstrong with his teammates in the background getting passed by Hector Collazo.
Hector Collazo in that prototype machine, continuing to outpace everyone per normal right now. He's got about 26 seconds ahead of second place there of Jacob Manning, who's had a solid run there. His opening performance here at Goat Locker Racing so far really solid. No mistakes that I've seen out there on track there. So Jacob Manning doing a solid job out there, but doesn't look like he has anything at the moment for Hector, who's just dominating as usual as he gets by that last teammate there of Patty Armstrong and just continuing to set sail.
Going to be looking at 27-second gap over Jacob Manning in second. Jacob Manning's currently sitting 14 seconds over Sabi Yosef in that final podium spot for the GTPs. So everything has well and truly strung out for the GTPs. Meanwhile, closest battle on track right now is going to be Joshua Jackson trying to get that position on Timbo Parker once again, like we saw in the first half.
Yeah, the two Porsches back there battling again. These guys always seem to find each other. Joshua Jackson trying to put some pressure on as they enter the carousel here. Trying to find a way down. It looks like these two Porsches are pretty equal. They are on open setup, so these guys can run whatever setup they want, but it looks like they're running the same setup the way they've been hooked up together all night long, as well as Jacob Ellingson, who had to leave due to storm activity in his area. As I seen in the chat there, it was he actually lost all electrical power. So, but these two guys going at it as they head down into Canada Corner here, the two Porsches of Timbo Parker and Joshua Jackson. Joshua Jackson hoping that Austin Cobb would make some mistakes out here tonight, because Joshua Jackson would surely like to gain some time in that point standings over Austin Cobb, who's currently leading.
Watch the 70 get a great exit on a lot of these corners with the onboard. He's going to have a great run running behind the 789 all the way up this hill. And he might have an opportunity to make a move down into turn 1 if he's able to keep the throttle in it. It looks like Parker is just a little bit better on the straightaway here.
Yeah, these GT3s don't draft like they used to. A couple of years ago, you used to be able to get a big pull from them. Not so much anymore. It's just like they stall out. Especially sometimes if you're maybe in a Lambo and you're chasing a BMW, you can get a good draft. But these two Porsches, it just looks like there's actually no toe, and Joshua Jackson can't get a run on the toe. At least the dirty air behind Timbo Parker there. He's going to have to do it on racecraft. And there he goes, trying to outbrake him there as we ride on board with Joshua Jackson. Goes out wide into the sand. So as we rode on, you all seen it there. Joshua Jackson going to slip back about 10 car lengths after that. Doesn't hit anything, thankfully, but going to have to get the sand out of the tires and get that thing cleaned up and try to make another attempt here maybe in a little bit.
You know, for a track called Road America, people are finding as many alternatives as they can to using the actual track. Jackson's already clawed back a couple of tenths from that incident and is still trying to track down Timbo Parker once again. As we have seen maybe an issue from one of our front runners in the GT3s. Oh yeah, heavy contact. Matt O'Donoghue has gone around into the barrier, and that has allowed Eli Melech into that P3 position, as we may see some damage on the 123.
Well, going to go back to the V-Speed instant replay. Oh, that's a tough place to lose it. A lot of times you spin out on the track there and you collect a lot of other drivers, but able to recover that thing, and it's probably going to have to go down and take another one or take a quick repair to get that car fixed. We'll see.
Yeah, it looked like he made the exit and it just pulled on him. That's one of the risks you run with running the front engine rear drive Mercedes, is you got a lot of bite on exit with that rear downforce that you get from the back end, and it just stepped out on him.
Yeah, gets that car recovered and is back out on track, and we'll see what he can do. But Joshua Jackson now back behind Timbo Parker. That's actually impressive. So, Joshua Jackson, we just watched him run off the track here, coming down actually into the same corner that he lost it last time. They go into the cheese sign there, under the cheese bridge, I should say. Joshua Jackson outbraked him here, but outbraked himself, ended up doing a little bit of excursion out there in the sand. He's going to tuck it in behind Timbo right now and take another look. But, it seems to me that Joshua Jackson is clearly faster than Timbo, but just the passing here is extremely difficult.
It opts for the much more conservative line through there and is just tracking in Timbo Parker's tire tracks as we're getting back toward the back end of the course. He might have another run right here. Gets a little bit better exit. Parker having to take it out a little bit wider as Jackson is just tracking to the back bumper. Has to back off so he doesn't run into the back of him. He's got such a run.
Yeah, and Joshua Jackson running a little bit higher line, and sometimes you can get a better run out of the corner there. They're going to head down through the kink, head down towards Canada Corner here. Joshua Jackson trying to get any kind of run, but there's just no draft, it seems like, between these two cars. Isn't going to be able to do it here. We got a couple more corners before they head to the start-finish line here, and we'll see if Joshua Jackson can get a run out of turn 14. We'll see as they're coming up on turn 14 right now. He's going to really need to time this well and get a really decent run if he's going to have anything to beat him down to turn 1.
Yeah, we can follow this. We can follow this battle all night long, from beginning to end with this race. Almost 15 seconds, or 15 seconds. 15 minutes left in the race. You got 16 and a half minutes remaining. Austin Cobb making his way around Alexander Sexauer, and just continuing to stretch his lead. 13.5 seconds over Patty Armstrong, who has got a strong lead over the 121 as well, as everybody besides the 7, 8, 9, and 70 have strung out for the most part.
Yeah, and while everybody's strung out, why don't we talk about another one of our sponsors, and that is Above the Yellow Line Media. At Above the Yellow Line Media, we cover everything you love about motorsports, from F1 and IndyCar to NASCAR, short tracks, and even virtual racing. We celebrate the sport's rich history, explore its exciting future, and enjoy every moment in between. Make sure you check these guys out at ATYL, Above the Yellow Line Media. A great organization. They're right there on YouTube. Subscribe, give them a like. Also, you guys can watch Goat Talk Live on that same channel there on Thursday nights. I believe it's at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, but that's Above the Yellow Line Media. Make sure you check them out.
Yep, and that is a great program put on by Eddie and Pat and a few of the other great figures in Goat Locker. Thank you very much to Taylor Kitchens for allowing us to use that platform for Goat Talk. As we are watching this battle once again, Joshua Jackson having gotten past Timbo Parker now, as the 789 tries to give chase. Still the closest battle on track, but it is slowly starting to step away a little bit. Jackson stretching it out as Parker catches that gravel, and that's not going to help.
Yeah, and I watched Joshua Jackson there swing the rear end of that Porsche out too, and I was like, ooh, he's really letting that thing fly. But so is Timbo Parker getting it out there in the sand. Just takes his Porsche just a little bit further as we're winding this race down. Under 15 minutes left at this race here at Road America. Another one of those drivers we haven't talked about. I think I might have mentioned him once or twice tonight, but how about Bill Mofield? He's up 2 positions tonight. I think he started out this season almost as a dare. Kind of wanted to get familiar with the prototypes. Up 2 positions on the night in that American flag livery out there in that prototype. Having a solid night out there so far. I haven't seen any mistakes out of Bill. Just slowly plugging away, getting better and better each and every week.
Yep, and don't look now. He is slowly catching the 36 of Samuel Joseph, who stopped and probably made his splash and go just then, 6 seconds behind the 3rd place car in the GTP field.
Yep, so Samuel trying a little bit different strategy there, getting his final stop made on the night. If you remember that Samuel actually spun that car out on the opening lap of this race and put himself in a big deficit. Now he is still trying to make up right now. Right now, currently running in the 3rd position. I don't think he has too much of a chance of catching Jacob Manning. He might be faster than Jacob Manning, but Jacob Manning's got quite a lead, almost a full minute over Sammy Joseph. So, well, actually 30 seconds, I should say. So he's definitely got his work cut out. Going to need some mistakes from those guys up front.
And that gap from Mofield is ever so slowly shrinking, as Mofield is caught about a second up on Joseph since he pulled out of the pit lane. We're going to have to keep an eye on that one for later.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Joseph took tires. Well, he was in his box for 4 seconds, so I'm going to say no, he didn't take tires. So I don't understand why Joseph is off pace at the moment. But it will be an interesting development there. Yeah, as I'm watching that time tick away for Sammy Joseph, Bill Mofield slowly eating into it, although looks like Samuel, there he goes, is eating it again just a little bit.
That's going to be something we will need to catch up on later on. Meanwhile, we've got another gap that is slowly closed up. Matt O'Donoghue is being pulled in on by the 5th place running car of Safari Kallio. 1.2 seconds at the closest, as we saw it just then, as we may have seen an off from another driver further back. Tyler White dropping a lot of speed, and that has allowed Max Dracu to go back through for that 9th spot.
Yeah, I think Tyler White had an off track there, had to recover that thing. So a lot of drivers able to get by there. So Tyler White having a little bit of struggles out there, but holding on to it. Porsche still looks clean. So trying to do what he can to hang on to his position. He's got the prototypes coming up behind him. That's Manning just behind there in that gray machine, in that Acura, trying to get around this GT3 field, but not really racing anybody. And this is where you got to just use a lot of patience when you're in that prototype. You're not really racing anybody. You got the leader's got over 30 seconds on you, and you got 30 seconds over the third place guy. Just take it easy, get around these guys, and don't mess anything up.
And at this point, if you've been racing like this for a majority of the time here, you've been going at it for about 50 minutes, you're just racing each other, you're just racing the track, you're just trying to turn laps, find what works, what doesn't for next time, and just get a better feel for the car overall, as we're still watching Tyler White try and track down the 120 of Dragoo.
Still back there. It looks like, yeah, just a half a second, a little less than half a second here to battle for ninth place. About the best battle on the track that I can see. You got DJ Patterson behind these two guys. He's about 3 seconds behind, but it looks like Tyler White's going to take a look there into turn 5. Nothing doing. Going to head up the hill here into turn 6, back off and see what he can do after the carousel is about his best next opportunity here. But those Mercedes have been strong out here tonight. Another one of those liveries there from Dragoo. So it looks like 4 of those Mercedes out there all in the same livery, just to mess up my brain a little bit, which isn't hard to do. But the Mercedes now are starting to struggle just a little bit out there, but you still got the 2nd through 4th out there all in Mercedes.
Yep, it's another one of those angler cars running in sequence with the numbers 120 through 123. Tyler White has dropped off a little bit from the back, as we saw the maybe some difference in line based on the configuration of car. We were watching the Mercedes of Dragoo take the lines a lot wider through the tighter corners, and it allowed him to get on the gas and just like throttle up a little bit easier when he got through on exit. Meanwhile, watch the narrower parts of the corner taking a lot of curb from the Porsche of Tyler White, as we're seeing him close up a little bit on Dragoo. Got it within a second, but has started to pull a little bit, as Dragoo has probably got this one sewn up as we go down the front stretch.
Yeah, for now. We still got a little less than 10 minutes on this thing. I just went back and took a peek at Austin Cobb, who's continuing to dominate. Now got a 17.5-second lead over the second place car, the 121 machine, over Patty Armstrong. So Austin Cobb putting a beat down here on the field tonight. So really showing why he's the points leader out there, doing it in that American muscle car, that Corvette, over the bunch of new Mercedes Challengers here tonight. Like I said, 2nd through 4th are all in Mercedes, and then currently running in the next car that's not a Mercedes is Joshua Jackson, is currently running in 6th. So it's been kind of quasi Mercedes dominant, but that Corvette is just eating them alive right now.
Yep, German engineering taking up P2 through P8 or P9, all the way from we got the Mercedes, the 2 Porsches that we watched battle, the BMW of Timothy Wilms and Max Dragoo, and then the Porsche of Tyler White, all the way back to DJ Patterson and the McLaren. But the Chevy Corvette has been out front for this entire race, 18 seconds ahead of P2, and barring what I'd imagine is going to be like either it could be classified as an act of God, I think he's got this one in the bag, and it is going to be a long time coming, because we haven't seen him in victory lane since Silverstone.
Yeah, no, he's it's going to be great seeing him in victory lane right here, but he knows that this race isn't over. Anything could happen. There could be a mistake in front of him. So always got that in the back of your mind, and that's what makes multi-class racing so exciting. But with a performance like he's having here tonight at Road America, like you said, I think he's pretty close to having it in the bag. Another one of those drivers that's pretty much got this in the bag right now, trying to make his way back by Matt O'Donohue, is our leader in the prototype field. Hector Collazo now going around the outside on the carousel, trying to get this pass made on the GT3 car, and he will have that completed now. He's going to work on the next car, the 122 machine of Itamar, Emamele as he goes by now headed towards Canada corner. But Hector Collazo now got almost a full minute over Jacob Manning, just dominating this race. Hasn't made their final pit stops yet. They've got 12 laps on their machines, so I expect pit stops. They can come and get this done at any time. I think for both those drivers, it's just going to be a splash and go. But we've seen that Sammy Yosef done that his final stop in about 4 seconds. So that's about what we'll probably see from these drivers, about a 4-second stop in their box.
Yep, and Collazo, we've seen it time and time again. First race in the series, ended up lapping the entire field, not just the GT3s. He ended up lapping all the way past P2 in the GTPs in his debut in the rain at Daytona. So he is the force to be reckoned with right now and has kind of taken that mantle from Reagan Carty. I don't think he's going to have, like I said before, I don't think he's got enough. Even if he wins out the rest of the season, I don't think he's got enough to catch up to Carty in the points, but he is going to be fighting for some heavy spots in the point standings later on by the end of this season.
We've had 3 drivers in this prototype field show up and just put a beat down on the field. And we just lost Hector there for a moment there. I was kind of worried might be having some storms in his area, but able to recover that connection. But as I was saying, we've had 3 very strong drivers, one of those being Terry Crouch early in the season, won the first 2 races of the season, just dominating the field in the prototype field. Then we had a newcomer there, of Reagan Carty, show up and just start putting a beat down. And then now it's Hector Collazo. So it seems like we're going through quarters here with these prototype drivers kind of leapfrogging each other, taking over the mantle a quarter at a time, I guess is the best way to put it.
Is not going to bother me at all because the GT3s have always been competitive. The GTP side of things have kind of strung out for the most part, but the GT3s, you see a battle almost anywhere on track, wherever you're looking, whenever you're looking. And Austin Cobb has done something that we haven't seen for a majority of the season. He has stepped out to 21 seconds over the P2 car of Patty Armstrong. Normally, when we get to the back half of the races like these, we're seeing like 1 or 2 cars still vying for position, or at least a battle for the podium in the lower spots. So like a battle for third, like between 3 cars, or a battle for second between second and third, or somebody vying for that lead in the class. But we have not seen a complete run from a car like Austin Cobb like we have tonight in a while.
No, like I said, he showed up tonight to play. He wasn't here last week. He's been very competitive with a lot of other competitive drivers in the GT3 field. The GT3 field, there's been no runaway drivers, so to speak. It's been, I don't know, there's probably 6 or 7 drivers that are all really competitive. Tonight, things just shook out a little bit different. Austin Cobb, like I said, he showed up ready to race, put that Corvette out on the track, and has just put on a dominant performance here tonight. We'll see if he can cap it off here, but it's definitely going to cushion his points lead there over Joshua Jackson. Joshua Jackson currently running in 6th. So Joshua, after he got around Timbo Parker, hasn't been able to run down Severi Calio there in that number 1 machine, another one of those Mercedes drivers there. And as time's ticking away, I don't think he's going to be able to. We got just a little under 3 minutes left. I would say that's about 3 laps to go. I'm going to just see where Hector is on track. Hector Collazo, our prototype driver, has just gotten around Austin Cobb, the leader of the GT3 field. So Hector Collazo coming in to do his splash and dash, get his final pit stop done on the night here. As we should be, I don't know, with this pit stop, that's really going to slow things down. I'm going to see where they cross the start-finish line here. So I would say there's two more laps to go here. Yeah, just time it crossing the start-finish line just there. So he'll leave pit lane. He'll have 2 laps to go. We'll have the white flag next time by once he gets his service done on this machine.
Yep, we are going to tick past the 150 mark that would normally be the average for like a fresh set on the GTPs. Fastest lap of the race altogether was a 151.6 by Collazo, and he is going to have plenty of time to put that gap back over Jacob Manning, which is only 25 seconds from P2 after
Well,
that
Manning,
stop.
yeah, Manning's going to have to do his own pit stop as well. No, Manning goes by. Manning actually did not pit. So I'm watching Manning right now. So the question is, does Manning think he can make it? Manning currently running second in the prototype field, but I mean, he's still, like you said, 20-some seconds behind our leader. So it isn't like he's going to be able to catch him, but trying a little bit of fuel strategy maybe, but I can't imagine he's going to be able to go the distance. I assume that Manning will be on pit lane next time by during the white flag lap.
1 minute remaining, and it is all but done and dusted as we're watching Hector Collazo get past the 122 of Itamar Elimelech, who is going to likely take that third spot on the podium unless Matt O'Donoghue can salvage some form of run to catch back up to him.
And he's only trying to do that, trying to catch up to his teammate there. Hector Collazo now headed down towards Canada corner here as we will look at it. Well, I'm going to get that 122 wrong all night here. You know, I'm going to have to sit up at night and just practice that name there. But Itamar Emelech, I like the way you say it better. So there, Jacob, you're much better with names than I am. But doing a great job out there. Currently running in that third position, that last podium spot there, as the glove station white flag is out for Hector Collazo. Flagman is waving it there. Got those glove station gloves on right now as he crosses the start-finish line for one more lap. Currently dominating this thing. Jacob Manning currently running in second, about 20-some seconds, 40-some seconds behind our leader right now. I'm just seeing if Jacob Manning is still out on the track. Yeah, he has stayed out. So Jacob Manning now crossing the start-finish line for his white flag lap.
And that'll be P2 in the GTPs. Samuel Yosef going to be coming along in 38 seconds. Hector Collazo has just put a massive beat down on everybody since he showed up. This is going to be... It's going to be a reckoning. Well, he's probably just celebrating right now, just bombing it into corners, just doing whatever he needs to because he's got the time. He can do whatever he wants.
He's going to need to hold on to that connection as well. He's flashing his lights. He must be watching the broadcast. Know we're talking about him. But headed down into the carousel for the final time here tonight. But yeah, another dominant performance there by Hector. He took it was a 6-second stop for him in his pit box there to get that splash and go. Meanwhile, his competitor behind him, who's 27 seconds behind him, Jacob Manning, did not pit. So I was surprised that he could make it there. But you can see Hector already. We got a car there that is slow. Oh, Jacob Manning has run his car out of fuel. So Jacob Manning, he is going to lose positions here. That car is not going to make it back to the start-finish line. But back up front, Hector Collazo here coming down through the carousel. I thought he was in the last corner there. He is. He's in the last corner here, taking the checkered flag. Another victory for Hector. Give it to him here in the prototype field.
And Austin Cobb just ahead of him. Because he unlapped himself when Hector came in for that splash of fuel, he is on his white flag lap right now, and he is going to be just completely free of the rest of the GT3 field, as we may have a battle further back. Severi Kallio trying to catch up to O'Donoghue, but they're coming up to the line now, and I think that is going to be the end of that one for them.
Watching all these guys cross the start-finish line, but more interesting there, looking at Sammy Yosef there just ahead of our leader. Austin Cobb gets by. So Sammy Yosef now is currently running in third, and the only reason he's running in third is because, that's where he was able to drive his way back up to third. But Manning ran out of gas right up here. So it looks like Sammy Yosef is going to move up to the second position. So,
my God, Ken. Bill Mulfeld is going to inherit the third podium position.
I was just getting ready to go there, so we might be talking to Bill Mulfield as well. So he needs to hang on to that machine as well for a top three. So with Manning running that thing out of fuel, Manning had to tow that thing to pit lane, and so that's why he isn't being scored at the moment, but still shown in that. But Sammy Joseph, now Bill Mofield running in through, so now we got our timing and scoring back. But yeah, so there you have it. We might have a new top 3 here tonight.
Keep in it, Bill. Just make sure you got enough fuel in it to make it to the end. I don't know if it didn't look like he took a second stop.
He did. He just came off pit lane on his white flag lap, so he should be good to go. So Mofield should be able to make it. And how about Jamie Lipke? She's going to inherit now the 4th position, making a dent in that point situation. But Sammy Joseph crosses the line for 2nd place. We're waiting on Bill Mofield, the final podium finisher here. See if he can get this done over Jamie Lipke here. Final couple of corners here. Bill Mofield in that American flag livery. Looks like he's going to bring it home here at Road America, appropriate track for this car. Bill Mofield will round out your final 3 in the podium for the prototypes.
That is just it's just a testament to the never give up. We've seen him put runs together. Bill Mofield is going to round out the podium at Road America.
What a finish. Well, I'll tell you what, I can't wait to talk to Bill after our commercial break. We are going to take a short one here. We're going to come back with your unofficial results. We're going to come back and talk to our podium finishers. It's going to be exciting talking to these guys tonight, so stay tuned.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
We're back live at Road to America. What a great finish out there. Hector Collazo, 3 wins in a row, will bring that prototype home with this victory here tonight. He is standing by. We're going to talk to our top 3 in both divisions here momentarily. But Sammy Joseph starts in second, finishes in second with a little bit of drama there on the night. And Bill Mofield wraps out your podium finishes there in the prototype field. Jacob Manning will run that thing out of fuel and finish 4th. Jamie Lipke finishes 5th. Brendan McDonald with some struggles out there tonight, had to tow it home, will finish in that last spot that took the field. Billy Sigmund did not take the field tonight.
And for your GT3s, I'm sorry we didn't get to it at the end there. I was just over the moon about Bill. Austin Cobb with a 25-second lead gets his 4th win on the season and the first in Silverstone. Patty Armstrong going to be taking his P2 on debut. Itamar Elimelech in 3rd on debut as well. Matt O'Donoghue rounding out that top 4. Severi Kallio in P5. Joshua Jackson in 6th. Timbo Parker finishes 7th. Timothy Williams in P8. Max Dragu in 9th with John Houchin rounding out the top 10. In 11th is going to be DJ Patterson. Tyler White with a late black flag goes into P12. Noah Hogard rounds at P13. Alexander Sexauer had some issues early on in 14th. Jacob Ellingson had to leave early in 15th. And Seth Lee ended up opting to park it early and rounds out the 16-car field of the GT3s.
Well, that was a great finish. I am standing by with our race winner, Hector Colazo. 3 wins in a row. A really dominant performance out there. It looked like that maybe Samuel maybe been able to put some heat on you, but he had that early race spin, but pretty dominant. Another one of those dominant performances here tonight. Tell us how you got that done.
Yeah, I mean, as you said at the start, Samuel spun out. So ever since that happened, I was like, all right, let me just go ahead and fuel save the whole race. Just try to extend it. The fuel tank was very tiny, so I was a little bit surprised. It was only, I think, 14 laps. So the whole race, I was just fuel saving, trying to make sure that final stop wasn't as long. So I was able to keep that gap to Samuel. But yeah, overall great race. Thankful for the GTs because in practice it was a little sketchy passing some GTs. They were a little crazy, but overall in this race they were pretty kind to me. So I'm thankful for those guys. Yeah, track was absolutely blazing. I think it was like 120. I think it peaked out. So tires
Yeah.
were fried after maybe 5 laps. So it was driving on ice the whole time. So it was a little scary.
Yeah, we're watching a lot of drivers out there struggling in those situations, but you kept it solid out there, put on a heck of a performance. You didn't have Reagan Carty out there tonight to really push you to your limit, but next week we are headed down to Texas, Dakota. How do you feel about that track moving into it?
Um, it's not my best, I would say. I'm not really a big fan of Coda and GTPs, so it's gonna be a learning curve. Probably might have to practice a little bit. So not as excited, but hopefully we can try to continue the streak and hopefully if Reagan Carty shows up, we put a good performance for these people watching at home.
Well, who do you have to thank to get you this victory here tonight?
I gotta thank the sponsors. I gotta thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, InVets, ATYL. Yeah, thankful for those guys. Thankful for you guys for streaming and putting our names out there, really giving us an opportunity to have fun and race this beautiful series and this amazing league. So really thankful for you guys for putting an absolute masterclass of a broadcast. So thank you guys, and yeah, just happy to move on to next week.
All right, well, good luck to you and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Hector Colazo, our racer in the prototype, our winning racer in the prototype field.
And I am standing by with our winner from the GT3s in dominant fashion, Austin Cobb. This is Jake Linky in the booth. You got a copy?
Certainly do. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm sure you're doing pretty good too because it's been a while. All the way since Silverstone, that 2-hour race was your last win on the season and you back to your winning ways. Take us through it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Tricky conditions today. The track was so hot, and in my brief practice before the actual practice, I was trying to fiddle with a setup, and I just kept losing the rear in the medium to high speed corners, which that's like all this track is. I was struggling pretty bad, so um, I did what I call I had to throw the training wheels on. I had to put on the safe setup and lock it down, increase the traction control, add some downforce with the rear wing, and just kind of wanted to play it safe. The start didn't go so well. I was able to hold on to second place, and I was being very cautious on the cold tires. And I think Patty had a run into Canada corner, made some slight contact. We both got away unscathed, thankfully. And then yeah, just kind of a huge moment for I think it was Matt, where he kind of shot off into the grass and he rejoined, and that was I was gritting my teeth there. I was like, oh my gosh, hopefully this works out. And thankfully it did. And once I got into the clear air, the setup really was planted compared to what I had been practicing. And I just kind of rattled off the laps, tried to maintain the gap, and then just made sure I put plenty of fuel in for the end just in case I had to go an extra lap, which I did have to go an extra lap. So that worked out. Very, very fun today.
Yep, and relatively issue free for you. A lot of other drivers ended up having some issues, be it with either track limits or some lap cars getting in the way of things. I'll have to talk with a couple of our podium finishers about that. But who do you have to thank for putting you on the top step of the podium once again?
Yeah, absolutely. So Lincoln Tech, Save 22, MK Fire Design, ZAT Graphics, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Iron Vets, and ATYL. And as always, I want to thank my better half for being very patient while I race and enjoy this league with you guys. And I also want to thank my crew chief, Wyatt Roberts. He had to dip out and go race in a league of his own, slide job racing. So I'm gonna go join him after this. That's everybody.
All right, and it's congratulations on the win. Thank you for your time. We'll see you at Coda, sir.
See you guys. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was a nice chat we had with our race winners. Well, I'll tell you what, I am standing by with second place in the prototype field. Sammy Yosef, this is Ken Huber. You got a copy.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, how's it going there, Samuel? Well, I got to say, you started off the night a little bit rough, but you were able to recover. Talk about getting back up and getting that second place finish here tonight.
Yeah, Road America is such a fun track, but I don't know how to explain it other than like with the GTPs going over that. I think it's Corvette Corner. I don't know. It's that hill crest with the tunnel. It's like the air gets under the rear end, and with the cold tires and hitting the brakes right as I apexed over the hill, just spun me around with just, yeah, couldn't do nothing about it, but gave me a little challenge, a little fun. The fuel situation was weird. I was kind of interested to see how Hector and Jacob were doing with fuel because I was struggling to save fuel. And then I saw that Jacob ran out of fuel on the last lap, so I guess the strategy worked out in the end. But fun race, can't complain. I wish I gave Hector a little bit more of a challenge, but it is what it
Well,
is.
whatever strategy you were using on fuel, it must have worked out for you because I can tell you that Hector had a 6 second stop over your 4 second stop. So you took less fuel to get it done than he did. Of course, he might have been taking a little extra because he had quite a bit of a lead over you. So I guess that's maybe the smart thing. But great job bringing this thing home in second after the incident early in this race.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, who do you have to thank for getting you to second place here tonight?
Yeah, I gotta thank Jam Printing Promotions, V Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, GTR Simulators, and MK Fire Design. A big shout out to TWR and Angler Racing. Unfortunate for Brennan with his technical issues, but glad to see him out here tonight.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing what you can do out here next week at Texas.
All right, thanks.
All right, that was Sammy Yosef. So I guess we should bring in our second place of the GT3 field.
Yes, indeed. Patty Armstrong. This is Jake Lanky in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how you going, boys?
Doing all right, and I imagine you're doing pretty good too. First day here, first race in GLR, and you bring it home P2. You three were tearing it up through a majority of that first section of the race. Take it through it.
Honestly, it was I drove a pretty bad race. Yeah, I mean, right at the start, I thought I had a bit of a gap in front of Severi, and I just not quite clear of him, so nearly crashed with him at the start of the race, and then a couple laps later, I drove right into the back of Austin into Canada corner, and then I got damage off of a back marker. I just misjudged his braking and went into the back of him, so I had to pit for fast repair, and then it was pretty touch and go on the fuel as well at that point. I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to get all of the fuel for the rest of the race into the car, but just about got it. And yeah, by that point, pretty tight on incident points too. So definitely could have gone better, but happy with the result anyway.
Well, it didn't work out for the win with the run-ins that you had with the other cars, but it did work out for a solid finishing position. Do you think we're going to be seeing you and the rest of the guys throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, as it Kota next, not my best track, but give it a good go and hopefully go one better next time.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium tonight?
Yeah, Jam Printing and Promotions, MK Fire Design and Zach Graphics, V Speed, you boys put on a great broadcast. Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, and GTR Simulators, sorry. One little shout out for my boys at Angler Racing as well. Got Itamar on the podium just behind me, coming up next, so yeah, pretty stoked for that.
Yes, sir. Congratulations. Welcome to GLR. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you at Coda.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
All right. Well, you know who I'm going to bring in next? Bill Mofield. This is Ken Huber and Jacob Linke in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do.
Well, how about that? You bring that American flag livery home and rode America with a top three. I'm very excited to talk to you here. First time on the podium here in the prototype field. So great job. Why don't you talk to us about your night, and were you expecting that podium finish here, that last minute getting that third spot?
Well, I'm pretty much I just stay consistent and constant, and uh, the car was good tonight, and the track was good. The Corvette turn actually was an issue. It's like my car lifted off the ground, and then when it would hit back down, it would just throw out the rear end. But I mean, other than that, the car felt good. The racing was good, and I enjoyed it.
Well, you did a great job out there tonight. It's funny because I brought our producer to your car just as we were noticing there. Were you expecting Jacob Manning to run out of fuel there and you capturing that third spot?
No, not at all. And I had it down. I had about a quarter of a lap fuel left, and I had to come in for the pits. But no, I didn't expect to see that.
Well, neither did we, but sure made it exciting. Glad to hope we can see you here again. Well, how do you feel about coming into Texas at Coda next week?
I actually like that track quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to it. I really do work well with the corners there, and hitting my apex just fine. But it's a fun track.
Well, absolutely. We'll look forward to see what you can do out there at Texas next week. Who do you have to thank for getting you this last spot on the podium here tonight?
Well, of course, MK Fire Design and Zach Graphics. It's again thanks to them that we get what we're doing. iRacing and Sim Motion, Harpoon Designs, all grateful for what they're doing for our league.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you next week.
Looking forward to it, and thanks for what you do.
All right. Well, that was Bill Mofield. So that was our last of our prototype finishers. I guess why don't you talk to our last GT3 guy?
Yes, indeed. Itamar Elimelech. This is Jake Linke in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, boy? How you doing, guys?
Well, doing all right. I imagine you doing pretty good too. On debut, you and Patty both taking home a podium. Take us through that race for you.
We basically trained an hour before the race, I guess. Like did a few minutes of practice. Not my best race as well, because we weren't so fast. But still, it was a fun race, basically, and that's it, I guess. There is not much to say, Just had a good start that got me to second place.
Yep, good start. Had you, Matt, and Patty just running gangbusters, all three of you trying to chase down Austin Cobb there. It was great viewing from our perspective, and we talked over it a lot. You were able to capture that last spot on the podium. Again, first day in the league, first race. Are we going to be seeing a good result out of you at Coda?
Yeah, I really hope so. I'm gonna practice a little bit more for this next race. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a good result as well.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium tonight?
Yeah, I have to thank for iRacing, MK Fire Design, C-Motion, Harpoon Designs, and Z Graphics.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
One last thing, I got a shout out to my boys, Angler Racing, Max Drago, Matt, and Paddy, and Sam. And that's it, guys.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the league. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on the podium, and we will see you at Coda, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was another good one of those great races we had here tonight, Jacob. But as we talked about it, we have only got 3 races left on this season. Next week we're going to Coda, and then we got another 2-hour race at Indy there, Jacob. Another one of those exciting long ones. I always look forward to those, and I am being sarcastic.
Well, you and I have a little bit of differing opinion when it comes to the 2-hour races. I just relish the idea of sitting here and watching these guys race and drive and do their thing And I think we may be seeing some weather come in next week at Coda.
Could be interesting. That track's already hard enough. You add some weather to it in the forecast. That's yeah, that could be kind of interesting for a lot of those drivers out there. So they'll definitely want to get their practice in. But then after Coda, like you said, we do the 2-hour race. And, you know, it takes a little bit of practice there, sitting in my sim rig for 2 hours watching that race. But Indy should put on a good show. Not expecting any weather there. And then we're going to wrap up the season there at Watkins Glen. But yeah, it's almost over there, Jacob, as we're nearing the end of this thing.
Yep, out through spring. We got summer following that, and then we got a full season in fall just waiting for us.
Well, I think with that said, we're going to close this thing up tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here on behalf of myself, Jacob Lenke alongside me, Bobby Bender on production, per normal. Great job there, Bobby. And then Dougie Beard on cameras on behalf of everybody in V-Speed Goat Locker Racing. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Tomorrow night, we are going to be doing the next gen. So check out Jacob and I tomorrow. We're going to do the next gen cars here. Same time, same channel.